Brian.
Name drop. I know your last name. I'm not going to say it just because you want to ding yourself. He's the only guy on the show that doesn't get dinged.
That's not true, man. That's not true. Chris Kirkpatrick, guess what? We have the boys from LOCASH.
LOCASH.
So
yeah,
Preston.
Big deal.
Preston, Brust, who's the person on your right?
Well, this is Chris Lucas.
It's Chris.
Yeah. And you said my last name right. No one ever does that.
Yeah. So I figured
That's right. His is McFayden, and everybody calls him McFadden.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's always...
Call me McFayden.
I called him
That's
McFadden.
such a fact.
So we got the guys from LOCASH in. Thank you so much for coming in. And our first four names, obviously name dropped. I guess we could talk a little bit about Toby Keith and how he just passed away.
Good place to start.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, he gave us...
he does have a belt. Wait,
I don't want to keep touching.
We got belts right here.
Oh, you got a red belt.
He's like, keeps like.
So
Wait,
when
you
your
have a
name,
belt?
you just
Preston, you got a belt now too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at you guys in your color belts. See, I'm a different tone, by the way.
Yeah.
You got
I
the
made
original.
sure I'm a different tone. Hit your belts. Check it out.
Viking.
I
Check
feel
it out.
like we're
Toby Keith.
contestants. Yeah,
Toby
Toby
Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And are you a Colt?
Yeah.
These are kind of almost the same. I guess you were touching the right color.
It was.
Yeah, you were touching the right color.
I was attracted to it.
Yeah.
Who isn't?
Obviously, he's from Baltimore and he's from Kokomo, Indiana, which we'll get into. We'll get into the Beach Boys
Towns
here
or
pretty
names?
soon.
I mean, that was good. I'm here to just ding everything, especially Kokomo.
You know, that's weird. That's what it says on your website.
I know, right?
Hi, my name's Preston. I like to ding
I
everything.
like to ding everything.
How
Everywhere I
did you
go.
guys meet? Especially, I mean, you guys been together for 16 years.
Yeah.
So where did you meet? Because you're coming from Baltimore and Indiana. Where was it?
Wildhorse
Yeah.
Saloon, man,
Wildhorse
which just,
Saloon.
which just closed.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
It's changing
But
names,
they're
though,
changing
right?
names. Category 10.
Luke Combs.
Luke
Yeah.
Combs.
Yeah, Luke Combs.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's Nashville now. It's if you
Yeah.
don't have your name as a country singer,
Yeah.
nobody's going to go there.
Well,
You
one
gotta
of
have a
you
bar.
guys was DJing, right?
We both
Yeah.
were.
We both were DJing.
Yeah.
So that's how you
Yeah.
met.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We were DJing, teaching some, if you want to call it line dancing, we were teaching something, but it was fun. And we just kept singing backstage when the bands would go on. We're like, oh, we'll go backstage and work on our harmonies together. And next thing you know, people started coming to see us teach line dancing. And back then we had Sons of the Desert, Trick Pony,
Ira. Crazy Ira.
Who else? Lone Star,
Brad Paisley.
Ricochet, Brad Paisley, Chris
Everybody.
Ledoux.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts, man. And Chris Ledoux was a great story.
He was.
That was fantastic.
Well, what's that story? You can't say it's a great story and then just look at each other
I
and
kind of
nod.
left him because I hired him when I didn't have the authority to hire him.
Well, Chris didn't want to work there anymore, and so he
Yeah, I was
hired me to
over it,
replace him. And so, but then we hit it off, and he was like, "Well, I kind of don't want to leave now because now we're buddies and we're having fun."
Right.
And so it backfired on him. And
Well,
so,
we started getting chicks. It was like Sheila, Tracy.
Take it easy. I think this is the first time that we ever had like actual beltings for chicks and bands. Looks like that actually works. We sound like an old lady's backyard with wind chimes.
that should have been more like a gong for us. Just one solid.
We've already canceled. We're good. It's fine.
Yeah.
On the next episode of Body Count.
Yeah.
With LOCASH. Here we go.
Yeah, so Chris didn't want to host that night. And so he was like, hey, we got Chris Ledoux here tonight. You are going to host the show tonight, and I'm going to DJ. So he hands me a mic, says, go backstage and find out, like, what you're supposed to say, talk to the road manager, da-da-da. So I head back there. It's my first day in Nashville, really. I go back there, and I talk to him, and he's got this mechanical bull on stage, and he's going to start the show riding on this mechanical, and fireworks are going to be coming out of the bowl, and the place is going to go bananas.
Jeez, I wonder where he got that idea. We used to do that. Son of a...
He came out as a puppet too.
Yeah,
one
he
time.
did. No, come on.
See?
Here we go. Was Timberlake with him? I knew it.
Yeah, came down from the ceiling on strings. And so anyway, he man, it was a fun night because he taught me. He said, "Hey, are you guys going to be artists or just hosts or what?" And I said, "Well, I think we're going to be singers." And he says, "Well, you got to save all your merch money because that's going to add up over time, and people never save their merch money." So I said, okay. He says, no, don't take it to the bank. Put it in a cowboy boot and bury it in the backyard. So that's what I started doing. And
This is a true story. He did this.
Every weekend we would come home off the road. Once we were out doing gigs, I would take my portion of the merch money, stick it in this cowboy boot, and rebury it. And I was like, he told me to do this, so that's what I'm going to do. So I did it for years. and I just had this treasure in the backyard. And it was like starting to get, I had to put it in like, you know, like Ziploc baggies. I look like a, you know, Pablo Escobar in the backyard. And I'm like hiding stuff back there. And I'm like, this is horror. I couldn't tell. Oh, there we go. And so,
we missed the day on Pablo Escobar.
Chris
That's
is
the first time.
first time that's
Got this belt thing, guys.
So anyway, years go by. And I meet my wife, and I said, I need to tell you a secret. There's something in the backyard we got to dig up. And she's like, please tell me it's not a body. And I was like, no, it's just a boot. And so we
have
went
one of
back
those
there.
too.
You also found the boot?
Yeah, no, we found it.
You found the boot?
I knew right where
Bro,
it was.
he brought it out one time, and you got to remember, I was married with the kids, so all my merch money went straight to diapers and everything like that.
So now Chris thinks I've been taking extra.
Yeah, he stole money.
Oh, so you guys are in a fight now.
Oh, so
we
Chris
can
like,
hash it out.
Where'd you get all this money? And I'm like, well, I never like spent it. I just put it in a boot.
He
was
literally pulls the belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're in the backyard. You're digging up boots. You guys you're pissing off Chris because he thinks you're stealing merch money. From him. And that didn't happen. So we're airing this out right now.
So we're fixing
How many years
things.
ago was this?
So
This is
now
like
we're
counseling
changing,
for a duo.
we're changing the name to LOCASH because
LOCASH.
And you have
LOCASH.
three. So you both have three.
Yeah.
So you guys are. That's like whole Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah, I just got it done before him, and it was hard because we got kicked out of our house.
I was single for a long time, so I was kind of living the life, and he was busy,
I
raising
had
kids already.
Repoed. I knew the repo man, Mike. He would come to my house. He would take.
Yeah, give Mike a big one. Good shout out.
Yeah.
Did he knock on your door and he was like, hey,
He didn't have to.
we're here
I
to
saw him pull up every time.
I'm gonna just have to take it
called me.
again.
Yeah.
He paid you.
I didn't know.
He's like, I know you're in there.
So I pull out this boot, and so I bring it inside with my wife, and she's like, "What is happening?" And it's covered in dirt and mud and everything. So we cleaned it up and pulled out all the money.
Was there change in it? Or was
I had it cash? No, it was just cash.
Wow.
And I had it so packed. Like I would go to the bank and get all the 20s turned into 100s, and so I could pack it real tight.
You also had McDonald's money in there too.
Yeah,
you did a commercial for McDonald's.
Wait, you put your commercial money in there too?
No, I didn't have commercial money.
No, they were McDonald's bucks.
He
They
was
were
definitely
McDonald's. You
stealing
got free Big Mac.
Yeah. So me and my wife
bought a
counted
laundromat?
it out.
This is what I want to know: how much it was. How much money was it?
Right there. So I had $65,000 in there.
In your backyard.
And it was so crazy. It was like a treasure that never ends. Like we were just counting, and we were going crazy. We're like,
woman of a certain age, write down the ad. Where do you live?
yeah. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, it's gone. But then
He probably don't even have that house. He bought a new house.
so now there's a new problem. We're like, what do we do with this? Spend it, but what are you going to spend $65,000 on right then? So we're like, we got to put this in the bank. And so we're like, how do you put it in the bank without getting flagged?
Too.
Yeah.
So I started buying things. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go buy a car today. And so I just go buy something.
Right.
So, but it wasn't just any car. It was a Trans Am. I had to have
$65,000 in merch.
What year?
Wait,
what year Trans Am?
It was 79.
Oh,
79.
like Smokey and the Band.
Yeah,
15,
but
20
the silver
years.
one, the
too,
platinum
with
edition.
merch.
I found it in this barn. I said, Chris, just drive me to this barn. And so he takes me out to this barn, and I was like, you can go on home. I'm gonna drive something else
Going
home.
home with this.
And I didn't tell him why, because I knew he would tell me not to do this.
I started hearing pigs squealing. I was like, oh, we are going back.
This old farmer walks out
Wait,
and
what was
goes,
the pig's name?
Babe, he was out there.
Babe. The best name drop yet. It was, you fucked Babe.
so
It was like Deliverance.
yeah.
Okay.
And so so that's kind of how the story
This
ends.
old
It
man
just
came out in the shadow. It literally was sitting in the movie. I'm sitting in the car, which got repoed after that, but it was. He's coming out. This shadow. This old man starts walking out, and I'm like,
yeah.
You got crazy, man. That's probably the highlight of the name drop. It's one of the best stories I've ever heard. I've never heard about someone. You dig, I've heard, because I did it when I was a kid, because we poor as can be.
Yeah, but
there's
a jar. Like you're done. It's like
pennies
you got,
in
I
the
got
back.
$18 in this jar.
This is the
I'm
greatest
rich.
thing ever. You can
Well,
find
it felt like $18. I was just like, this is crazy. And my wife was like, what have you been up to?
No,
and I'm
wait.
like, I swear I'm not a drug dealer.
You
this
never.
Oh, she
You
thought.
never told her. You never told her the
I
entire
didn't tell
time this boot
anybody.
was back
That was
there.
like the ultimate trust.
he can hold a secret, dude.
Like
He
I'm
can-
like,
no
okay,
kidding.
If
Yeah,
if we're gonna get married, there's one thing you need to know about it. She was like, what? And I was like, Come
That
to the
she
back,
needs
come
to
to the
know
backyard.
about.
We
No,
gotta go
she
to the
doesn't
backyard.
need to know
I
about.
get this little shovel out. She's like, "What are you about to do?"
Okay.
And I'm like,
This-
"We just gotta air
This
it all
has
out."
to be, you have to like cartoon this or something because I
it is,
cannot
yeah.
imagine.
We could probably do it in
Your
the show.
wife sitting there and you go, listen, we're about to get married.
Yeah.
There's one thing you got to know. Grab a shovel, meet me in the backyard. Like,
Yeah.
that's a joke. But when
So
you really
finally-
start digging.
So finally I said, well, we got to put this in the bank, but I refuse. I'm like a redneck, so I'm kind of like, I'm not letting the bank know I have this money.
The man's
I
gonna
didn't
know.
want anybody to know.
Right.
The man's gonna
And
know.
so I did not want U.S. Bank to know anything about it. So I went in and I said, you distract the girl. I'm going back to the safety deposit boxes. And so I put all $65,000 into a safety deposit box. And then I would go in and I would pull out a little bit at a time and spend it because I read that if you spend like $9,999 at once, they can't tax it and they won't flag
It's not a
anybody.
gift. It's
So
a
all my
part.
purchases were $10,000 or less until it was gone.
Now, can I tell you the funniest part about that story is the fact that you said, I'm going to put this money in the bank and you put it in a safety deposit box.
Yes, totally.
Like, that doesn't
It's a good
really-
bank.
You're supposed to get
Lot of
interest on it.
interest in
You
that.
put it in there. That's when they put it in the bank. You're
Nobody
like, no,
ever
no.
taught me about banks or interest or nothing, so I didn't know. I
The only
could make
person that
money
taught
off
was
of
Chris
this.
Ledoux. That's it.
Oh,
I probably could have
One more-
doubled it had I
one
done
more.
that. But
Man.
yeah.
That is a
you
great
had another
What?
boot.
How many years had it been at this time? You got open
Ooh,
it
man.
together 16 years. When like how many years into merch we talking?
I mean, this
Over
is-
10.
Yeah,
Over
yeah,
10.
10 solid years.
So you were on baby 2 because you just had your baby last year.
Yeah, and I would just like I'm on 3.
You're on 3
yeah,
now.
I'm 3 now. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I've known him for 23 years.
23.
Yeah.
Wow.
23
But together,
years.
it's
Together,
LOCASH.
together.
So when I think
16,
about
16,
Chris
yeah.
Ledoux, I think about that boot.
Yeah.
And then I think about that money that was in there, and it never would have been there. I probably would have just wasted it every week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I have like the savings. It was
I mean,
crazy.
I know where some of it could have went, so I didn't get repoed. But you know,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's fine.
That's probably why
I'm
you're the
holding my
most
kid up
pissed
like
off.
Simba. It's like somebody help me.
Dude, we're like struggling artists, and Chris is buying like, you know.
My credit score was 800.
Oh, money.
I had an 800 score,
Money.
so I've
So he
never
goes
had
out
a
and
chance
buys
to
a
Your
jet
get
credit
ski.
score must have been crazy with that boot.
He goes out and buys a jet ski.
He doesn't need a jet ski.
Parks
in
it in his
Nashville.
yard. And
You
then
got to live your life.
You know
what I mean? Yeah. Well, we called that DJ credit. That's like, there's a radio DJ.
this
We were
was
just
pre-
broke
no.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not pre-marriage. I was married.
Yeah, I don't remember when you had that thing, but
But anyway, so
then he'd be so upset when they come and get it, and I'd be like, "Well,
well,
you
they
didn't
didn't
even
come
write
and
it."
get this. This is the situation. So I bought it. I went out on Percy Priest, and it's okay out there. You know, there's a lot of branches out there. It's kind of crazy. So I took the ski, and I was like, you know what? I can't afford this. I took it back. So I went up to Honda and dropped it off, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sir. Okay, just fill this out." Next thing you know, I get a bill 4 years later on a jet ski. They're like, "You need to pay $12,000 because we never got our jet ski." I'm like, "What? What do you mean you didn't get the jet ski?" And like, well, I said I dropped it off. I'm like, "Well, we can't find it anywhere on the property."
Somebody stole it
No.
after he dropped it off.
So I finally had to get a lawyer and end up paying $6,000 rather than $12,000.
Man.
And that's what.
And you could have had
when
a
I
jet
first
ski.
met my wife,
Could've just
that
had
was what I had.
You could have had a jet ski. Now, was
By
that
the
the
way-
first big
Yeah.
purchase
That was my
with
first.
the band? Your first big purchase
But we
was a
couldn't
jet
afford
ski?
it at all.
Right.
I mean,
and
yours
yours
did
was
not
a boot?
afford it.
But yeah, mine was a boot to save the money. Yeah.
Okay, so now, we're DJs now at
Wildhorse.
Wildhorse.
You guys
Yes.
didn't do Gone Country because we did Gone Country. We did our finale at Wildhorse.
No.
Were
I
we
mean,
all there for
we
that?
saw
I know,
everybody
It's a
coming
reality,
in.
the reality show.
You know what? We
Oh,
did.
maybe
we
we
did
did.
do that. Yes, we hosted. Like
Yeah,
when you guys
it
were
was
on.
like me.
What year was that?
Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Same thing that Bobby
Jermaine
Brown
Jackson.
did.
Yeah, same. Right.
Yeah,
Bobby Brown did Gone Country?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the year
Bobby
before.
Brown came
Bobby
in,
Brown
yeah.
did the first season.
And he
I was on
crushed it.
season 2.
He did great.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he win it? He might have won it.
We got it. Yeah,
Oh,
that's about
dang.
that.
I mean,
Bobby
Sebastian.
Yeah, I said Jermaine Jackson. We had.
We're missing some women of a certain age. You're not dinging over there either. There we go.
Oh, where's your tongue?
That's
Oh, you got to. You know, it's because you throw that smiley face on it. I'm still the lowest. Got to make sure I'm the lowest.
So we're going from the Wildhorse. You guys are DJing. As you guys realize that you have the talent to not only just take your line dancing, but to go into the recording studio.
Yeah.
When did that come about?
We've been working. James Stroud ended up coming.
Well,
to
they were
see
trying
us.
to hold us down. They were like, we wanted to record our own songs, and they were like, well, you can't just record your own songs and sell them at the Wildhorse. That's against the rules.
Yeah.
And so we decided to make the line dances to our songs. And so when the people came in, we would teach a line dance to our song. And then it's full of tourists.
You guys
3,000
remember
tourists a night.
Yeah.
The Tascam when you're making CDs.
Yeah, of
the
course.
tower, you could burn like at once.
We had like 4 of them, so we would burn CDs and sell them. Right, we'd come in the box is just $5, $10, just money, thousands.
Just sticking it in a drawer, just like the booth. I'm good at that, right? I'm good at that. I'm like, I got a talent, Chris. Just let me do this.
Hey, trust me, I've got this security box at the bank. We can put a straight
$5 at a time adds up real quick.
So the Redneck Bank is a boot in the backyard.
Yep. And then the Redneck Bank
Wildhorse
at
DJ
Wildhorse was a drawer where the microphones went. And so we would just stick the money in because the people were just lined
General
up.
Manager Donnie, he don't deserve a bell.
No, take his bell away.
Yeah.
Backwards bell.
We throw it
Whatever
in
reverse bell is.
Yeah.
He's such a punk, man. And he was he caught us. He's like, "What are you doing in
He's
here?"
like, "What's
I
in
don't
that
understand.
drawer?"
I think we should get some of that money. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't think you should. You know?
Yeah.
We basically had a really good relationship with Colin Reed, who is one of the guys that runs the Wildhorse Gaylord, and we could get away with a lot more. But it was the comedy too. It was like the Howard Stern thing where you people came to see you. You're not making fun of them, but you're more making them a star.
Yeah,
where
we
they
had a
can
good
laugh
time
at
with
themselves,
them.
and we make fun of us all the time. So it's
the whack pack.
it was really cool.
Yeah, like, I mean, every night was different. Like you're talking about, like Gone Country would come in, and then another night would just be a normal night at the Wildhorse, and then the next night would be like
Temptations.
Babyface concert.
Yeah.
Or
Temptations,
Temptations.
Babyface.
Martha Reeves.
Wow, Babyface.
I mean, everybody's coming
Brian
in.
Setzer.
I stole his guitar case.
You did. You
I
really
did. I had to have it.
Wait,
I
did you
guitar.
meet him, talk to him, and then just kind of snuck
he's
out?
like walking out the
You're
side,
like,
he's
this
like-
could hold a shit ton of money.
Wait, does he know you? You still have it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so-
shit.
Yeah, it's in his man.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he doesn't miss it. I mean, he's got a trillion guitars, and that night he was carrying it on his shoulder and like walking around with it, and I was just like, well, he obviously doesn't need a guitar case, so I'm gonna take that thing home. And so I just pushed it off to
It was
the
nice.
side.
It was velvet.
And we just pushed it off to the side, and then when the night came to an end, he left, and it couldn't, it wasn't where it was. And so I didn't really steal it. I took it after he left.
Right. You
Yeah.
just moved it.
Just moved it.
Moved it, and then
And
he
I
lost
got
the track back.
Brian, if you need it, call me. I got it.
He'll move it.
I've still
It's
got
buried
it.
in his backyard with
Yeah,
about
yeah.
$30,000.
Yeah, but it had like hot pink crushed velvet inside. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just like looked really
It
cool.
was sexy. It was sexy.
Did you guys
Yeah.
get to hang out with him, or
Not really.
No.
We just met
The
him.
Temps
and
we did.
Was
We
it?
hung
I
out
was
with
gonna
the
say,
Temps.
was there a lot of opportunities for you guys to actually
Mini Me came in
the
one time.
bands? Vern,
Me.
That's a tiny one.
Vern, yeah.
Tiny
I
little
bowled
band.
with him before.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was such a good guy.
He had a big
And
lower.
littler than people think.
Yeah.
Way little.
Vern
we're
Troyer,
talking-
right?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
He
Vern
calls
Troyer was like
he calls
this
himself
tall.
tripod.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he came in with like a gang. He came in with a gang.
Yeah.
Of all, like,
Wasn't Little John there?
well,
Same
on another
night.
day.
Same-
I
same
see what
night.
you did
It's a
there.
different night.
I see what you did there.
Let's
I
see
I
like
was
John-
gonna say,
here's
where
him,
was the
John
irony
Rich,
in that? Hey,
Jeffrey
this is
Steele.
Vern Troyer.
Who's
not
with the
Little
music
John.
Yeah, basically.
that should
Like,
happen.
that's
Yeah.
cute.
That should have.
That's cute.
That's really cute.
Have you noticed, and not to get skewed to the subject, but you noticed in the singing world how many athletes like wanna be
hang
your
out,
friends
want to
and
be.
hang out?
Well, it's the same.
Because
For
we're
the
the
most
same, yeah, I
part-
want to play baseball.
Yeah,
so
for
I'm
the
just
most
like,
part,
yeah.
you meet an athlete and you're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's you," whatever.
Right.
And the athletes are like, "Oh my god," because you both performing a service that the other
Yeah.
one can't do.
And you kind of get each other.
We're talking like high school athletes, or
No,
Yeah,
we're
of
talking
course,
big.
of
Yeah,
course.
every
Boy, was
athlete.
hanging out with me. Like you got a pop star here. We got country stars right here.
I'm sure there's a Nebraska Cornhusker
not
football
really.
player somewhere going.
I
Man,
took him to a Nebraska game this past fall, and the mascot hung out with us for like 5 minutes. That was
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
That's
big
the thing.
Herbie was
Husker?
cool.
Herbie Husker.
Herbie. Give a big one to Herbie.
That's good.
No,
But yeah,
we
that's-
get that. Like now we're actually working with the MLB right now.
Oh, cool.
But
Who's our team?
I'm a Rays fan.
Okay.
I just love
Cubs.
baseball too. So
Rays,
I'm a huge sports
Cubs.
fan.
Cubs.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Twinkie.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
Cubs.
we got lots of baseball guys. I think let's go with the number. What's your number one baseball that you have in there?
My number one baseball.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've got a bunch of good ones. I've got Barry Bonds came to one of our shows and
wow.
signed one for me.
I mean that's big.
I got we did a show, me and Joey did a show over at the factory, just an autograph show.
Yeah.
Pete Rose was there, so I
Oh,
got
that's
him to
awesome.
sign one
Pete
for
Rose
my
is always
kid.
there signing
Just can't
autographs.
fly
Yeah,
right
that's-
in.
He signed an autograph.
But I got it for my kid.
That's cool.
So that was the one that I was like, the other ones I've got like
got Toy
Ken
Hunter.
Griffey.
all right.
Kirby Puckett.
You got Griffey?
I got Griff.
Oh, bro.
Griffey
That's
actually is a buddy of mine because
Come on.
Griffey saw my kid playing and he's like, "Hey, send me some video. I'll help him with his swing." I'm like, "You're kidding."
Oh, that's cool.
Gosh.
He's got the
Kid,
best swing in baseball.
He's got the best swing in
yeah,
baseball.
it's awesome.
Him
I
and,
love hanging out with Chris. We've had dinner a couple times and like whenever
I'm gonna dig myself right there.
Chris Kirkpatrick
Yeah.
from NSYNC.
It won't work.
He just like your stories are so authentic and genuine, yet they blow my mind because there's so much.
No, I can't
mean,
imagine.
Yeah,
I know our
still-
stories, and I can't imagine
But
y'all's
still, you got to
stories.
remember, like, I'm a hillbilly. You know, I'm a hillbilly like y'all. It just so happens that I was in a boy band. So you see the band and you're like, oh, I know how these guys all grew up. You know, Silver Spoon there. This kid did this. This kid did this. Man, I was trailer parks and
It's awesome.
And I always thought like, yeah, that's stupid. You know, new kids.
That's how
What a
we came
bunch of dorks. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to do something like that.
It's honestly how we came up with the shows because I love listening to Chris' stories. We'd sit around in his backyard,
it's
hang out
huge.
at the pool, and just like sit there and bullshit.
and he can't help but name drop.
But the craziest
because
thing,
it's
prior
real.
to y'all coming in here, we were talking about recently. John Stamos went on the Big 615, which is Garth Brooks. Happy birthday, Garth Brooks! His birthday is today, and Chris goes, I have a story about John Stamos, and I'm like, oh my god, you got to tell it. He's like, no, man, it's not about me, it's about them. And it's interesting too because he's so damn humble about it, but he's got the best stories. You hit the nail on the head.
the best.
Yeah.
But that's what was fun, and you guys know when you're talking with somebody, and like if you're talking about Garth Brooks and you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, me and Garth, or it's like Garth Brooks. I mean, you know, it's like you don't want to even call them by their first names because you're like, I don't know them like that. I have a cool story.
Although Garth is a one-name guy.
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
just say Garth, and
For
most
sure.
of the world
But
knows.
I did go to
World
school.
say it.
I went to school with
yeah.
Garth Silvas, and he would
That's
probably
true.
be upset if I just said
Yeah.
Garth.
I think
I was talking about Garth. Yeah, Garth Silvas.
Yeah, good for him.
Big time, good one.
Yeah.
But you feel bad.
Yeah.
You know, if you're around some of your friends and you're sitting there going,
You're not throwing it at anybody like that because I live in Florida, so you know
I think
people
you
on my
just end
street
up
know
being a
nothing
mute
about
at dinner.
everything.
You don't
Yeah.
even tell stories. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to tell a story because it's
Because
going to
you
have
walk
Garth Brooks
away
in it.
thinking, did I? And
You
I've
know?
done it. I've done it like with people I've been out with. I'm like, man, I must have just sounded like an
I know.
asshole. Because all I was talking about was, oh yeah, Sydney, yeah, okay, well,
That's what's great about this show. I could get away with name dropping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we do it.
It's like,
This is the only time I tell these
we
stories.
just name dropped John Stamos. Like he took his sister to go
Yes.
see John Stamos back in Pittsburgh just
Yeah.
because
No,
his sister was a big
it was
fan.
in Ohio.
It was in Ohio.
When I was
I
in
just
high
texted
school.
Stamos to try to get a Disney cruise hookup.
Yeah,
I got a Disney. When? You want to go with us?
We're going.
we're going.
When?
We're
April,
No, March 25.
March 25.
Is that spring break?
Yep.
Around that time.
Let me know. Well, let's
Let's
get
go.
it after this.
Done.
We're gonna thinking of doing spring break. That would be
bro.
awesome.
We're already
Is it your
on it.
first
It's fun.
Disney cruise?
Yes.
Yes, me too.
It's
I've done
gonna-
cruises.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be
I'm getting excited. I'm like,
Mickey
let's
Mouse.
go. Forget the show. See you later.
We're
Wait,
all
Doc,
going on a Disney cruise.
No,
Mickey,
everyone's doing it. You're not going.
Elsa.
I'm not going. No, I'm taking
I thought
my
you said
kid.
we're going. You said we're
going.
No, you said we're going, and then you just asked them what they were going. So
So I want to hear.
Hey,
I want
there's
to
room.
hear.
There's room.
There is room.
Okay, so
You hang out with little
we're
Texas?
taking,
all,
we're taking
all
our
the VIP
nanny with us.
rooms
You
are
have
going to
a-
be taken.
That's what I
We're
need.
taking our
Yeah,
nanny
you
with
hook
us.
up?
There's extra
Okay,
room
yeah.
in that room.
Let me. We'll talk.
Okay. All right.
We'll talk.
hey.
Hey, so
single?
I want to hear
you
knowing
single?
about the Beach Boys thing, and we just kind of
No,
dropped
I'm a girl.
John Stamos.
Okay.
I want to hear. Oh yeah, Beach Boys.
I mean,
no, and
I want to hear the.
I'm single. I'm
you
not
did-
single.
You're
you
upset,
did not
aren't you?
name drop
You're
her
upset, aren't
name.
you?
Yeah, I'm just
So-
upset. No, wait, is this your nanny? You're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, is she hot?
I mean,
The nanny.
It's a nanny.
she's
dude.
a great. She's,
All nannies are hot.
my wife's gonna see this, so I mean, I think she's a
alright.
pretty girl, and you should really think about going on the cruise.
I really.
Let's just
That'd
say
be a
that.
great idea.
Yeah.
We could, and then we can come over to your house and find shovels to dig out.
It'd be
the
great.
backyard.
Yeah.
There's more.
We
Yeah.
got paper cruise
So,
about.
anyways, we digress. But going back to the John Stamos and Beach Boys thing, I know you guys have been working with them and have some great stories about them. How did that
Crazy.
come about?
The song, the Beach Boys. So was that because you wanted an in with the Beach Boys, or is that?
Well, I mean, we said it that day.
we said it.
I think
as
a lot.
dreamers.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We write a song called Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Jared Mullins. He wrote it.
Yeah.
He came up. He's so brilliant. Such a brilliant songwriter. But he comes up and he's like, well, if we're going to do a Beach Boys song, why don't we just call it Beach Boys? Let's take it to the beach, boys. And we're like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Black light shines up.
Yeah.
You know?
So we start writing it, and then we were like, we should have like a sample in there. We should tip our hats to the Beach Boys in this song, because that was starting to come into country music a little bit. And we were like, let's just have fun. Let's not have rules. Let's just do this. So we looked up a couple different songs, and I kept going back to I Get Around. And I was like, I Get Around is just fun. It feels like the tempo of the song we're writing right now, so maybe we could work that in there. And then Jared Mullins, again, his genius brain says, I get around, get around, we'll drink them down. And it was like, oh, come on, that's it.
Yeah.
So then we write this song, and it's got this little interpolation sample in it.
Wow,
and,
that's a big. You should just spell it.
Yeah, just for that word.
I can't even spell it. It's good.
That's 5 syllables.
Not bad for a redneck.
I think as long as I've known you,
It's
that's
really
the most
good.
you've ever spit
That's
out.
the only 5-syllable word I
Now
know.
it is written on the back of his hand, though. Just
Interpolation.
he's like, I'm gonna throw this word in here in this one time.
Yeah, so then we take the song, we turn it in, and our publisher is like, well, this is never going to happen, because the Beach Boys, you know, they protect their music so much, they're never going to let you do this.
Well, you had to get Brian and Mike to approve it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Brian Wilson.
Yeah, Brian
and
Wilson.
Mike Love.
Mike
yeah.
Love. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we turn the song in, we wait a couple months, and we're not hearing anything. And then all of a sudden one night they called up and they said, you're never going to believe this, but Beach Boys love your song, and they want to call you and maybe even be on the song with you. And
Come
so we're
on.
like, let's do this. So then all of a sudden Beach Boys kind of jumps to the top of the pile as a possible single. And so, because I mean, you know, how often is that going to happen again? So we get Mike on the phone. He calls me up one day, and it was just crazy, man. Like a 30-minute conversation, just like this. And,
So like just
You
chill,
guys
man.
went to the creme de la creme, I would say the mother of country music. You guys went to the Grand Ole Opry with the Beach Boys.
We did it.
Not
We
only
did it there.
well, we found out they never played there.
you introduced them for the very first time.
That's crazy. The Beach Boys have they played every venue in the world
Uh-huh.
and never the Opry.
But that's the biggest endorsement you can get, because when you think of the Beach Boys, you think of them being as American as apple pie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for them to be like, oh yeah, these are my boys.
Yeah,
it's
it was
really
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
It was
pretty
cool.
damn
We're
And
gonna
then
do
we
some more
ended the show
shows this
together.
year with them too, man. They're just so tightened up, man. The guy who does the high harmony is maybe one of the best singers I've ever heard. He's just a monster.
He's awesome.
I mean, he sings just like, you know, Brian.
Just like
knows
Chris
and everything,
Brian
just
back in the
nails it.
day.
Yeah.
Just like Chris Kirkpatrick.
So
Yeah,
that's
he used to back in the day.
So that's where the John Stamos comes in, because you guys
Yes.
did Stagecoach as well, right,
Yes.
with them.
Yeah,
Stamos
all of a
did some
sudden,
of those.
you know, Stamos is there
Yeah.
at these rehearsals, and we're hanging out at the Ryman and stuff, and
Smokey
It was just
Robinson
crazy.
was there.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was awesome.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
I remember
so-
thinking about Smokey Robinson. We were watching that documentary, One Night in Pop. I think that's what it was called.
Oh, We Are the World?
Oh, yeah, We Are the World.
Amazing.
I
Smokey
laughed
Robinson.
so
All
hard.
right, tell me Waylon Jennings.
Waylon
The Waylon Jennings.
He put his hat on. He's like, I'm out of here.
I don't know nothing about no Swahili. I'm out of here.
And roll. Never look back. And you know, Willie's like, I really should go with my dude, but I think I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay and be We Are the World.
Well, he knew that Lionel has some good weed.
Yeah,
he knew.
But do you think Waylon even told anybody though? Because if you watch that and you see
he
him,
didn't care.
it's not
He's
like
out.
he went and go, "Hey, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm out." Waylon was just like, "Nope."
And I love how they incorporate like the good old boys from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Coming in.
Yeah.
That was the best.
It was great.
Stevie was just trying to get on that. Stevie was trying to get on that song. That's all he was trying to get on that. And it was pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
What they
So-
did to Sheila E. was bad, though.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
guys,
she needed to be on that.
if you guys could do a We Are the World now, who would be, especially in your world, in the country world, who would be in your
Let's see.
collection of people?
Well, let's go through my phone. Let's see. Joey
Would it be all
Fatone.
country?
Joey Fatone's in your phone? If Joey Fatone,
for that. He is.
You know, we
It totally
brought, we did a show with Joey the other night down in Orlando, and I say the other night, it's a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And
always
big
the
private
other
party, big corporate
Yeah,
event. And so he comes out, and we did a Backstreet song, right? Or
Yeah.
something. Was it a Backstreet song?
of course
And
you
so
did. Which
him-
makes sense. You did a show with Joey Fatone and
Yes.
sang a Backstreet
course.
song.
So the next thing you know, Joey and Chris are like hitting all the steps and like and just crushing it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting, I'm like this redneck, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get in there. And then they hit this final pose, like I know the moment's coming.
Yeah, the
and now,
boy band pose.
Now
Yeah.
they're like they're locked in.
I mean, we
you
nailed
know?
it, dude. We nailed
And
it.
they like hit the final boy band
What
pose
song was
together,
it?
and I'm like. I like leaning on the side.
Yeah, I
And
like
Joey
that.
was like, Joey sees me, he's like, oh yeah, come on, get in here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just Lance over here trying to get in here on the side. I'm like, and I didn't even mean it in a bad way, but I was like, I'm just over here trying to get in here, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we didn't date Lance. Sorry.
Hell
yeah. So anyway, that was a fun night though.
That was a fun night. Brett
Nelly
Michaels was
showed up
there.
that night.
Brett Michaels. Brett's awesome.
Nelly.
Nelly.
Yeah. You talked to Wanya. That you're probably friends with Wanya, right?
Wanya,
Yeah. You guys have been doing some cool stuff, those shows.
Yeah, well, we've done. I've done a lot with Joey and with the Boys to Men guys.
Yeah.
And those guys, I'll tell you what. And Sean
And the Moby group.
Oh my God, the talent.
Sean is. I mean, he gets out there and shreds a guitar now.
Oh, really?
Like he shreds. I mean, the kid can sing better than.
Oh yeah, he's
Right.
99.999% of singers I know.
Yeah.
And then he brings the guitar out, and you're just like, what is happening? Like he shreds. He's really.
That's cool.
He loves playing, and they're just in. And those guys are our, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know,
so
Boys to Men.
you probably asked the best question,
So
which
that-
is
yeah.
so you.
Besides for Joey Fatone.
So you say like
besides
Joey
Joey
Fatone,
Fatone.
Boys to Men.
I would say Boys to Men for sure.
Okay.
Beach Boys. You gotta get Beach Boys in there.
Yeah.
Beach Boys.
Yeah. Garth.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan.
Luke Bryan.
Kane Brown.
Kane. Let's go on the other. Adele.
What about Luke Combs? He just
Luke
killing it
Combs,
now.
yeah. He'd be great.
Let's think of
Jelly
some,
roll.
We've got two genres.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Throw some jelly roll in there.
You know,
Yeah.
for
What a
icon.
great! You guys have. You got to have some jelly roll stories because
Yeah. We're on the same record label
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And
We were.
so, yeah.
Well, we still
So,
are. Kinda.
well, we still are. Yeah.
I don't know why I
Wait,
hit
we
the
just
bell.
got to ding for we were on that label.
Yeah.
We were on that label, and then he's dinging everything. See, he's the actual
he's a
dinger.
little dingbat.
That was
Yeah.
actually my publicist, so I'm not supposed to talk about it. She's like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think the good thing is that we can talk about it because we're not going to air this until.
Perfect.
Because
Yeah.
you got new music coming.
Yeah. So we left BMG as artists, but then the same day re-signed LOCASH Records to BMG. And then LOCASH BMG Records re-signed LOCASH to BMG. And that way we can be in more control of our music.
We're gonna
Oh,
change
wow.
the name of it. We need
Yeah.
a name.
So that's one of the reasons we
I
came
need a
today
name
to try
for
to
our
sign
label.
you.
Oh, your name?
Yeah.
And put a record.
yeah. There you go. You got me and Joey.
Yeah. Let's
Done.
go.
That's what you get.
The one name that we always forget, McFayden Records.
The Fading Records.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think
Sounds
that.
good,
that-
right?
Doesn't
that
it flow?
doesn't. No.
We need a good
Oh,
label
you
name.
even
Flow.
sang it.
Flow
You even
Records.
sang it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flow Records actually flows better than
If you watch the
McFayden
show,
Records.
I was in
Progressive everywhere we go.
Hey, great choir. Okay.
I was a bass baritone.
All right.
I was going through puberty at that time.
I'm right there
it's
with
like
you.
a little bassy tenor.
Yeah.
Baritone.
man.
He was a rapper.
Baritone.
Oh, you were a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he raps. He freestyles. Go ahead, do a freestyle.
Go.
No, I can't freestyle. Wait.
I would have really loved to hear what came out of your mouth at that point, though.
This just became melody drop. Go
Speaking
ahead.
of rappers,
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice is in my phone.
Oh yeah,
that's a good
Yeah.
Rob is in there.
You
No,
got-
actually, Chris calls him Chris. So we're in this conversation.
I mean, this
and
is just nonchalant.
he FaceTimes me and he's like, "Somebody wants to say hi to you," and it's Vanilla Ice, and I kind of freak out, I freeze up a little bit because I'm like, I didn't expect. I'm sitting there eating popcorn, watching TV with my wife, and Chris is hanging out with Vanilla Ice.
Did you go by Rob Van Winkle or did you go by Vanilla?
This is funny you ask because all of a sudden
It's RVW.
All of a sudden I hear Chris's voice and he's like, "Yo, Nilla, hand me the phone," and I was like, "I'm giving Nilla its own." I said, actually, Mr. Ice, would you give that phone to Chris? 'Cause I'd like to talk to him about this nickname you guys already have. This is amazing. I I couldn't believe it. He's called, and he calls it Vanilla.
What's
a
your
cool
nickname
nickname.
for Joey then?
Well, we
Fat
can't say it. We can't say what we. Flying squirrel.
Flying squirrel.
Why is that?
Well, he showed us pictures
Of something.
of things that we probably shouldn't have
Oh,
seen.
yeah,
when he had the procedure done.
Procedure done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Never
It
mind.
looks like a flying squirrel.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
I mean, it was. We died.
I'm so glad my grandma Jean's dead because she would watch this. I don't have to explain what a flying squirrel is to my grandma.
I think that's the first time Joey's been name dropped on our show.
He's been
though.
named up like 3 or 4 times.
He did? Yes.
No, just on the show.
Yeah, but I mean, this
Super
time,
famous.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
We've
of
had
all
Lance,
the shows we've done, it's the
Justin.
first time we've had Lance, Justin,
JC maybe once.
maybe.
Well, we just did now.
He said JC.
Yeah, there you go. You just did it.
Just
JC can
I
sing.
think JC is
JC
AI.
can sing.
I've never seen him in real life. I think he's AI.
He's from my
He's-
area.
He
too.
could be
from
AI.
Maryland.
He could be
Oh,
AI.
yeah. Bowie?
Yeah.
Are you from Bowie?
I'm from that area.
Yeah.
Severn.
Well, he was telling me that they have wax figures of them at Madame Tussauds. So maybe he could be a wax figure and they just put him in there.
Maybe.
He is AI.
He is AI.
Yeah.
He's a hologram AI.
He was AI in the 90s before it was cool.
Yeah, that was during
pagers.
I didn't even know that.
beepers.
During pagers.
Beepers.
I thought it was just steak sauce.
No. Yeah.
Oh, we got to meet Wade Robson too. What's his name?
Oh, Wade.
Yeah. He's a good name.
There you go.
Yeah, so doing the stuff like that, you were huge fans. I mean, I should have been in a boy band, to be honest with you.
Is it
was
weird? Is it weird? Because I know it's weird for me when, especially country artists and stuff like that, look up, we did the VMAs and Taylor Swift was like, oh my God.
Well, crazy.
I'm like, you know who we are? Like, it's like, not that like that, but it's just weird when you see another genre.
Yeah.
Look at, because with us it was Boyz II Men.
Oh yeah.
Take Six.
Yep.
Shy.
Yeah,
Shy.
I could go deep on all those names.
Yeah, we could crush R&B.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, this is going to be the best part. When we finally end this show, the four of us get to sing together.
Yeah,
Let's go. We should work up some harmonies.
Actually, to be honest with you, who we had on, Jason actually hit a really cool little part there with
Jason.
which
The
was
cat.
funny. Yeah, Jason.
The cat. Yeah, the cat.
Wow.
Remember we had the cat on the show?
Yeah. He had
the
a little
cat.
milk and then some.
Mars Maslow.
Yeah, we're like, here you go.
Yeah,
It was like,
Sing for us.
yeah.
it was actually pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So now we're with the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
You guys finished that up, but you also did some writing too with Tim McGraw.
Keith Urban.
Took one number
We
one.
wrote some songs for those guys. The very first song we ever wrote in Nashville on a publishing deal. We just got signed to Sony ATV as publishing back in like 2003 or something like that, and 2002. And the first song we turned in, Keith Urban snags it, takes it all the way to number one, and it was just crazy.
That's insane.
I mean, just wild.
Then
And,
McGraw got that in the truck, yeah.
That
And
came
then
right out of it.
Joe Nichols took one.
Which gives you some street cred in town once you start writing number ones for other folks. And then people will start taking a look, why didn't you keep that for yourself? And like, well, you didn't even want it when we tried to cut it ourselves.
What I love about Nashville, and Chris and I talked about this before with other people too, you guys have like writing partners. You have a group of guys that you do.
Yeah.
Was Chris Jansen?
Jansen was one of our really good friends.
Yep.
He's such a talented writer too. He's wound up though. Every time we get in there, he's jumping back.
How
He's
great
number one
is
this
it?
week.
How great is it to see
Yeah.
some of these guys that you've been writing with, or you've been in these circles with in Nashville for a long time, suddenly get their dues? Because
It's incredible.
I saw a little thing where there was a writer in the airport and just sitting there all by himself, and the girl pans the camera. She goes, if anybody only knew the writer of all their favorite country hits
Right there.
is sitting right there, because that's the way Nashville is. You
Yeah.
go out, somebody will get up on stage and go, yeah, I wrote this little song, well, I got friends, and you're like, you what? Like, where did this come from? But when you see those guys coming out and getting their dues, like you guys, here you were in this writer circle, and then suddenly LOCASH blows up.
Our producer, Jacob Rice, he, man, you're really good at danging both of you guys.
Yeah,
Me and Chris have
we
been
got
on
it.
This
now.
is, I'm not
Jake's
kidding.
letting
This
you
is the best dingers that we've had.
I get that a lot.
You start to forget during the show.
yeah. I
about
feel like I hear
dinging
that every
because
day
you
of my
don't
life.
realize
So
the
it's
name
gonna be
drops.
just dings.
So Jacob has his first cut right now. Well, not his first cut, but his first big one. And it's a Luke Bryan, John Party song. And it's just cruising up the charts. And it's so exciting to be in the studio and just ask him, how's it going? And he's like, dude, we just crossed 30. Like, we're 29, 28. And it's his first big hit. And it takes you back to your moment when you had your first hit. And
Back
it's
in
just
1952.
but it is cool to watch these guys, finally get their
come ups.
chance.
You want to
come
see the
ups.
good guys win.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen often.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you really
got to be
want
tough too when you see these guys that write all these songs and then some dipshit or something gets the song and makes it a huge hit, and the guy gets money or gets paid, but it's their song.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard when you guys are recording, how hard that is. If somebody goes, hey, I got this song for LOCASH, I want you guys to do this, and you get in the studio and you can make it yours, but it's not the same if you wrote it.
Right.
It's not. And like, the more we become refined as an artist, the harder it is to find those songs outside of things that we didn't write.
Right.
Because you're just like, man, it's
Well, you try
almost
it
there.
there,
But
beat
it's
it.
not
You,
quite.
you write it, and then we'll take songs. When Ashley Gorley sends you a song, you're gonna listen to it.
I've been working on a song.
Oh,
really?
Jesus.
No, what?
I don't know.
No, go ahead.
No, seriously. Because this is what happens. You like a lot of stifling going on right here.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
true.
got it.
Well, we're
And
in
this
the studio
came
right
to
now.
me just now by
Got
sitting
it.
here hanging out with you guys and
Okay.
telling stories.
This is your chance.
This is
Yeah.
a pitch. This is your moment.
We got the backyard boot and flying squirrels.
Ooh.
Put that in a song.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, why haven't you written a song about the backyard boot?
That's a great
I should
song.
write a really serious song
Yeah.
about the
yeah,
backyard.
about the backyard boot. Probably not so much serious about the flying squirrel, but
No.
the
It's like
backyard
both of them
boot.
sound like
At the
great
end,
country strip clubs.
Your wife has you arrested thinking that you're a drug dealer.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
She's out in the back. Says,
Oh, the
look at my
video's
baby.
incredible.
Oh,
yeah.
the video is gonna be great.
Yeah.
The video's amazing.
I want to be.
I actually go to jail, and then I have to tell her through the glass where it is. I'm like, go.
to bail you out.
Yes.
Or you
Oh,
do
this is
like
great.
that old joke where you'd go in and tell her that you buried all the bodies in the backyard, and the police come in and hear you and dig everything up, and they're like, "But did they find the boot?"
And then, right.
That's what I wanted them to get.
They dig up 26
Yeah.
bodies, but no
They
boot.
dig
I'm like,
out 0 bodies and 1 boot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
he was lying. There were no boots. I'm like, but you got the boot.
Yeah, I
Since,
like it.
Since we're not going to be airing this for like another month.
Ever. It's like,
You know,
this is not
talking
made
about
for
videos.
TV.
This is a little story about Chris. So I'm
Chris?
telling. We have this song
Oh, yeah,
called.
which Chris?
Yeah.
You.
Okay.
So we have this.
Not
I'll
that
just
I
start
wouldn't name
pointing.
you to.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I told you this, but I was at a dinner with Chris, and we have a song called "Beers to Catch Up On" coming out, and it's during COVID, and so no one can like be around each other. Karate Kid was just rocking.
yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I haven't seen the
You're
new
talking
one.
about
The newest
Daniel
one, too.
LaRusso?
No, yeah. That's
What's his name?
No,
Rob Montiel?
hold on.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and I say, he says, man, I heard your song. I really like it. And he goes, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, I think it's going to go to radio. And we kind of want to maybe do a video that's kind of like COVID friendly, so we can still shoot the video and be around a campfire, a couple buddies getting back together, you know? And he's like, and then we start talking about Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And he has this idea. He says, oh, dude, we should have, Daniel at Karate Kid and Sweep the Leg Johnny show up at the fire. And we're like, and I'm like,
How high were you?
but I
This
said,
is great, actually.
but I said,
Yeah, this is
but I
great.
said-
Actually pretty funny.
and then I'm like, yeah, and we could have Bo and Luke Duke show up too, because people,
Yeah.
All
like,
the pairs.
yeah.
yeah, all the
Yeah.
pairs.
Which, by the way, I didn't tell you this. I was on a flight with Luke the other day. I had no Tom.
Yeah,
is it
Tom
Tom. Yeah,
Wopat.
Tom Wopat.
Yeah.
I had no idea. We landed and he was talking really loud on the phone. Real LA like. And I'm like,
landed.
who is this guy? Yeah, I was like, who is this guy? And then he starts walking out, and I'm looking at him,
Tom from
going, I'm like, oh my god, where's Waylon?
Yeah.
I need me some Waylon right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right
dude.
about now.
Yeah. And
I
so,
feel
so
like
he
we
has
all
this
might
idea,
be-
we're going to do this. And I'm like, that is a great idea. I'm all in. I'm like, I don't know any of those people. I mean, I know Bo and Luke Duke, but
Yeah.
I don't know, Daniel and Sweet
Wait,
the
did
Leg
we get
Johnny.
that many things?
And he's like, hold on a minute. I'll just call Johnny right now, and then he's like, I bet, Daniel, what is his name?
Ralph.
Ralph. He's like, Ralph Macchio. He'll probably take my call right now. Hold
Let
on.
him wear.
Let's
let
FaceTime
let
Ralph.
him wear an Islanders jersey, and he'll be all about the video.
Next thing you know, I mean, he's putting this whole thing together.
I'm producing, and
He's
this
not
is my
doing
side
this.
hustle.
This should have
It's
been
my side.
I mean, this would have been a
It should have been the
fantastic
video.
Yeah, should've
Yeah,
been.
but that just shows you, like, not even
Story of
just
our
name
life.
dropping.
Should've been.
He's calling these people to put a video together. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But then that's what we're talking about.
You just
how
name
the
dropped
show,
my childhood.
how the show is fun.
Yeah.
Because we love hearing these stories that you normally probably wouldn't say. Yeah,
Right.
Stole Brian Setzer's guitar case. Unless we're like, hey, tell us about some famous stories, or how about some more country guys? Like,
So this is crazy. This is a story that just hit me when you're talking. It just made me recollect. So we didn't have any money. We didn't have any songs on the radio.
This was a lot of our life.
This was last week. This is last week. So we get this call on a Sunday afternoon, and a Sunday morning. It's like 10 a.m. And I answer the phone, and they say, "Hey, can you be at the private airport here in Nashville in like 2 hours?
Oh, yeah.
We want you to go to Alabama." And we're like, "Well, who is this?" And they said, "This is the assistant for George Jones."
Get
Wow.
out
And
of
we're
here.
like, okay. And George is still with us. And so we had George on a song with us. So, but that's after all this. So anyway, I'm like, Chris, George Jones' assistant just called and they want us to come to the private airport to go to Alabama today, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, because we were just signed with like DreamWorks had moved. Steven Spielberg sold it, and then Stroud went over to Stradivarius Records.
James Stroud, yeah. So they wanted some artists to get on a plane, go to Alabama for some publicity event, and we're like, let's go. I mean, we have no hype right now. Let's go get something, you know? So we go over to this airport. And we're sitting there. It's our first time at the private airport, and there's this little parking sign that says Possum Parking because they called George Jones the Possum. And so we're like, this is really happening. Like, this is his parking spot. Like, I think he's going to show up. And so we look out back, and there's 2 jets, and they're already fired up. Both jets are like ready to go.
I thought one was some rockstar shit.
Yeah, that's some rockstar shit.
Those things were small.
Yeah.
So we're standing, and we're early. We're like ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, we got our backpack and everything.
Doing selfies with the plane.
Yeah.
You're still on the phone with the guy that asked you on your car on the way
I think
over.
I'm here. Yeah. And so,
Is that you inside?
where do you want us to stand in here? Like, we'll just be right there by the men's room. And so we're waiting, and all of a sudden, Lori Morgan shows up.
Dang.
John Anderson shows up. Tracy Lawrence shows up. James Stroud shows up.
Wow.
And then in rolls George Jones and his wife, Nancy Jones. Love them. So they come in, and it's kind of like the game, like, who doesn't belong? Yeah, because we're like,
We so do not belong in this.
Trying to be on your best behavior.
bro, I'm talking to anybody.
Hey, as long as like Tracy Lawrence didn't hand you his bag and go, he just put it up in the bag.
But Lori
I would have
Morgan,
taken it too. I'm like, oh, I got
They're
it.
all showing up.
Rookies.
that's awesome.
Oh, and she looks like Marilyn. She's got
she's
the
beautiful.
scarf
She did
in
the
her
opera
hair.
with y'all too.
Yeah.
she's
And we're
great.
good friends with Lori.
Yeah.
So now we're at the airport, and for whatever reason, I had this belt buckle that I probably shouldn't have worn, and it was a little too crazy, but it was a pistol, and it had like rhinestones. You remember that thing back in the day?
Preston went through a really
Could you
bling
spin?
kind of thing.
Yeah, you could spin
the
the chamber. So you just walk up to it like, you know, like,
Well,
how you, man,
Whoa, man
right when I
down.
spun it.
that was the Ravens season after that.
Who got excited and lost their
You
belt when I
toss it,
spun my
toss it.
chamber?
But you start talking about Lori Morgan. I started to
I think when I
kissed her.
right when I spun my chamber, you lost it. You know.
Go on, Chris. Touch my belt.
That's why he put the bell right there.
So I'm standing there. I got this ridiculous belt buckle on that I probably shouldn't have worn, and in walks George Jones, and he says hi to everybody, and then he looks at us and he says, "I like that belt buckle," and I was like, "Oh yeah, here we go, we're in." And then he comes over and he goes, "Yeah, I got one of those." And his wife is like, "No, you don't, George. You do not have that belt buckle." And he goes, "Yes, I do. It's back in the closet, and I should have wore it today." And so she says, "You don't have this belt buckle."
Oh, it's a full-on argument.
She
at this
says,
point.
"Get on the plane. We're all leaving right now. Let's go." Like, this is we're
Oh,
not
she
arguing
runs
about this.
She runs it. She's definitely
Tight ship, awesome.
Yeah.
And so she says, "We're all getting on the plane." So he says, "I ain't going anywhere. I want a picture of that belt buckle. Somebody drive back to Franklin and take a picture of that belt buckle."
Oh my God. This really happened?
This happened.
And it's all because
Oh
I'm
my
wearing
God.
mine.
Yeah.
And now everyone's looking at me like, do we really have to wait 2
You're the
more
new
hours
guys.
because of this?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you can
Wow.
just have mine. Like,
I
you
was
just
gonna say, did you take it off and sneak in the back?
like,
Just say that.
like,
to
yeah,
you.
take a picture.
He wanted to prove the point.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he goes, "I want it sent to my phone." He pulls out the tiniest flip phone. He
Like
goes,
Nokia.
"I want the picture. It's gonna be like the size of your pinky nail."
Yeah.
It's
He's
3
like,
megabytes.
"I want it right here, and I ain't getting on that plane till I see a picture of my belt buckle." And so they have to send someone to the house
Oh my God, this is great.
to take a picture of this belt buckle. And sure enough, you know, he's not like this little ding goes like ding 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 ding, you know, and he
Yeah.
answers his phone. Yeah, you know the ring, the Nokia ring, right? Pulls it out, and he's like, "There it is." And on the dresser is this pistol, and he goes, "Told you." And then he goes,
Told you.
"Everybody on the planes,
Get
And
outta here.
Nobody knows where to go because there's 2 planes.
Especially us.
Yeah.
It's like your first day in
Yeah.
second grade. You're just standing there seeing where everybody's going to sit, especially us.
Yeah.
So we're like, everybody go in. And so Stroud goes to one plane. Tracy follows him. John Anderson goes up. The boys are going to go have some
Right.
drinks, right? They're having a good time. Well, then George heads to his plane. Obviously, there's the celebrity plane, and then there's the George plane. And so that's how big of a star he is, right?
Right.
Wow.
So
This
he
is
goes and
incredible
gets on
story.
his plane. Miss Nancy goes with him. So they get on, and Lauren Morgan says, I'm going on George's playing. And so she rolls out, the wind hits her, and it looks beautiful. She goes on a long dress. It's like a movie.
Slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo. She gets on, and she's getting on the plane. And so Chris and I are like, I think we go on Strauss plane. Let's go with the boys.
We did.
So we went up there, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Lori appears on this plane. And
now
she
it's too
is
many seats.
Not real happy. And she says, George wants LOCASH on his plane.
What?
And we were like,
all these artists, huge artists, were like, I think we should really go fast.
We should move fast. You guys were at the kids table, and you got
we got to the big kid table. Yeah, so we run over to George's plane, and the only people on there is Miss Nancy, George, and me and Chris. And we're talking. And here goes the
legs are like this. I got Nancy sitting right, and my legs are touching her legs. I'm like,
and George's legs, George's knees are against mine.
Yeah, he's just got his foot resting on your belt buckle.
Don't want to move,
dude. I'm sitting like this, just out like that. So
you're in the overhead space.
I'm like giving him extra air right there, And so we start talking about stuff like life and music and
dirty
regrets
jokes. Dirty jokes. The regrets were my favorite thing. And he's like, "Wow, I got a couple of them." One, he wanted to sing on the Sinatra country album because he was huge. Frank
wanted him on it.
Yeah, Frank wanted him on it. And he goes, I just didn't think that I was good enough to sing Frank.
Wow.
And so Frank called him and said, George, I'm really upset, man. I really wanted you on that. And he goes, Mr. Sinatra, I'm so sorry. I don't feel like I deserve it. And, and then they had a good conversation. So that was one regret. And then the next regret.
He kind of looked, it was wild. He kind of looked out the window and got a little tear in his eye about that. And it's kind of like, I probably should have been on that album.
Then the other one was Buck Owens.
Oh, that's a good one.
And he goes, well, I was on that tour with Buck Owens, and I kept opening, and I'd go up to his trailer and knock on and say, Buck, I think it's time for you to open for me. And he's like, Buck didn't take too well to that, so he kept going every night. Buck, I think it's time. Now George, you need to go sit down.
That ain't gonna happen. George, get on out there and open up.
This is my tour. Blah blah blah. So finally, George got fed up, went out, opened up the show, and sang every Buck Owens song there is.
Come on.
And so then he just got quiet and looked out the window. Yeah. And we were like, so what happened? Well, how's the story end? He goes, Nancy, how'd that story end?
Was there a fight?
Nancy goes, and she's reading the newspaper in the back, and she goes, we got kicked off the tour.
Yeah. You've never been invited back on the tour.
And then in the next breath, he's like, you got that McDonald's bag back there? And just straight to a breakfast sandwich. But
this is a story you can take with your kids.
Oh, yeah.
And this is crazy. It's
he
about
had,
to get
he had
crazy.
an Elvis story too, because Elvis was opening up.
Oh, geez, that's a big one.
For him.
We did first Elvis.
Somebody else was opening. It was Elvis, George, and
I think it was just him and Elvis and
whatever it was. And like he would come, Elvis would go and he said, I've never seen anything like it. That packed out there, and then I would come on, there'd be nobody there. Because it was just young girls just screaming for Elvis the whole time. My fans couldn't even get in.
Wow. So we go to Alabama. Now we're landing in Alabama. Still don't know why we're going, but we get there, and they got these SUVs and limousines and stuff sitting out there, and we all get in them, and we take off. Now we're back in the car. Now George has gone. He's got his own car, and everybody else is in SUVs. So now we're like following the president of country music, so we're like following him to the venue. We get to this place. They're going to break ground for this new casino that's going to happen in Alabama. And the casino has, I guess, spent some money to get some celebrities there for the PR of it. So here we come pulling up, and there's one tiny little trailer, and not even a nice trailer. They haven't even broke ground yet. They got the shovels out. They got the helmets, the hard hats. And so we pull up, and they're like, okay, so we're about to have all the press here in 30 minutes. So everybody just go to that trailer and wait inside.
Trailer's smaller than this room.
It's tiny. Wow. It's like a little mod.
There's about 10 in here.
Maybe more. And I remember, all of us were like, we're all going to fit in here. And so
I flew all the way here for nothing.
Yeah. So we all go up to the trailer, and I shit you not, we open up the door, and there's a guy standing there, and he's like, well, howdy, boys, come on in. And it's Jamie Foxx.
No way.
Of all the people you can imagine in Podunk, Alabama,
with
in
all
this
these
tiny
country
trailer in the
guys.
middle of nowhere, BFE. And he's like, George Jones.
He flips on George. He became a little kid.
It was incredible.
Became a little kid and could just, I mean, it was the funniest thing just to see him in awe over the apostle.
Yeah.
Started singing songs with him.
I feel
and
like
just
George, like that Jamie Foxx can he's a chameleon. He can sing any song.
he's
The guy's got a
unbelievable.
beautiful voice
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, it was just a wild day when we were talking about, these wild stories. It just kind of came back to me that whole trip. And
You know,
there's so many
the
of them.
craziest
It's a
part
hell of a
about
story.
that is I can identify with you because Joey and I do a lot together.
Yeah.
And Joey's the exact same way, and it always happens too. Joey will show up and he will have Smurf shoes on, right? And I'm like, what in the hell are you wearing these Smurf shoes? You look like an idiot. Joey, what are you doing? Next thing you know, Jamie, somebody will walk up, hey man, those are some sick ass Smurf shoes. Why don't you come hang out with us? And I'm like, here's my crow.
Bro,
It
happens so much.
It's just dumb luck. And it's just like,
I miss singing with Hank. I miss singing with McGraw.
This happened. Hank Williams Jr. He missed the moment. I told him put his clothes on and get ready. Hank's going to bring us out.
And I was like, he's not.
So you just went by yourself.
yeah.
I believe in like kind of like receiving things. Like it's going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. It's the 99% chance it's
You
going to
got a
happen
vision
tonight.
board. You know what's up.
In my mind. And I'm
Right.
like, it's happening tonight. Stay dressed. He's like in his PJs.
I'm
already,
so
he don't even have socks on, right? And when Chris puts on PJs, it's like a Star Wars onesie, right? So
Which is also a topic of conversation. If you would have worn, it might be on another private jet.
Right.
True.
Probably would have got the whole Hank tour.
George Jones goes, I got them onesies.
Somebody go take a picture.
So Hank, he's like, "Where's my LOCASH boys?" It's his family tradition, and the whole place is singing along. And I'm like, Chris,
Dude, our tour manager is like in the bus. Chris, get up, get him. I'm like, what? Like, Preston's on stage with Hank, and I was like, oh shit.
hey, I ain't waiting for you. If you put your Star Wars onesie on, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You got the flaps in the front or in the back?
Oh, in the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
Where do you think the flap would be?
I don't know. I just remember my mom used to have us wear onesies and go out and hug everybody in the living room. It's like, good night. A couple years ago.
So weird.
Slapstick opening.
So I mean, I gotta tell you, these are probably some of the best stories that we've ever heard on
they
Name
go
Drop.
on
and
and
I got
on.
these are all the
PG
all about.
stories.
Yeah, no,
These are
that's the
PG
best.
stories.
That's the best part about it.
But you guys you got new music coming out.
We do.
Dude.
Especially on your new label that you haven't figured out what
the
you're gonna
name
name
is.
it. And I think
Yeah.
we kind of came up with
McFayden.
one.
No, I don't think.
No, ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
Dinger.
ding.
Ding,
That
records.
sounds like that's got a lot of
Maybe
street
maybe
cred.
it's Name Drop Records.
Name
Ooh,
drop
let's
records.
take it.
That
I
was
just
gonna
went-
hit you.
I'm gonna, so we get royalties from each.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
We don't
Just
get
go
royalties
on.
from this show. What are you talking about, dude? We sell merch on this show and don't get paid.
I'm I got a shovel in
Yeah,
his backyard.
this is the freest show we've ever. We've got like baby shoes full of money and buried in our backyard.
Nice.
Couple quarters.
Roll of quarters.
Yeah. Is there anything you can talk about? I mean, obviously, going to be aired right after you guys release.
Yeah, man, we wrote a bunch of stuff for this album. We're excited. I mean, we've been in the studio cutting. We've already shot all the videos. You know how it is these days. You just pile up all the content. The photo shoots are done. Everything's done. And so now it's just kind of a waiting game. We have a meeting today with Apple Music, and we listen to the songs for the first time together with Apple. And so that's exciting.
Then we're going to look at other artists down the road and stuff. Joey Fatone called me once.
Joey Fatone.
No, but everything's an option all of a sudden because there's this artist, I won't name him, but he's like just turned in his last album. He's got about 15 number ones. He's unhappy where he's at. And we're hanging out the other day and he says,
Just Jason Aldean.
Yeah. Both of them.
and he says, man, I've been hearing a buzz about what you guys are about to do over there. Tell me more about it. So we mentioned a little bit more. And the next thing you know, he's like, can we have lunch maybe and talk about an offer? And we're like,
And this is a really good sized artist.
I mean, this is somebody with 15 number ones and current right now. And we're like, maybe this is going to turn a corner for us where we actually have a model that people can be happy in.
Yeah, well,
Own
we're
their
doing what we want to
masters.
bring in.
We're going to give their masters. The masters are where it's at right now. We all know that.
For sure.
And we want to give the artists the masters, especially songwriters.
They're getting a
Any
piece.
song that we get on our label, a songwriter will get a piece of the master.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I did back in my Orlando days. I have a company with Mike Bosch good buddy of mine, and we were working class industry, and that's what we did. You know, it was all about, we would do records for pizza money and just, you know, get something on the back end. You keep your masters, you do all that, because nobody takes care of the artist anymore.
No, nobody does.
No.
This
Especially
world
the
is,
songwriter.
especially.
And we're lucky that BMG gave us this chance. I mean, they didn't
really
have to
did.
do this, and they gave us this imprint and
John
gave us an
Logan.
opportunity.
Great guy. Thank you, John.
So it's pretty cool. Hey, did you ever hang out with Lou Pearlman?
Lou.
Did that ever?
That was
It
more
sounds familiar.
I know that was more.
That sounds familiar.
Wasn't that more Backstreet?
Is that the,
No, that was us.
It was you.
too.
Yeah, it was 100% us.
Yeah.
is that the corpulent
Are you
manager that
really?
used to,
Are you
There was
even
a
allowed
point
to talk
where it was
about
just
Yeah.
me and Lou.
died in prison?
No way.
Yeah.
We think he died.
Yeah.
I mean, is it?
I was
you
bringing
think
guys
he
in
died?
for the band,
think
and
he
Lou
died.
was like,
Is he dead? He's dead.
he's 100% dead.
Can we do a search for Lou Pearlman? Can we get eyes on the grave? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'd
bring,
like to-
hey, bring your shovel with your boots.
I mean, because I've got a good shovel. Digging up Lou Pearlman.
Digging up. We actually,
That's a
way
TV
back
show.
in the day when Lou took off, because he was wanted. And when he was took off, me and another buddy of mine, Rich Cronin, rest in peace,
LFO.
we were going to have a show where we went out searching for Lou Pearlman all across the world, trying to find Lou Pearlman.
It's like
Finding
search for
Lou.
Animal Chin, but it's
Never took off.
So we do this thing on our show at the end. We sing our show's song.
It's not a
Which is-
song. It's just a.
It's a song.
It's a
Trust me,
tag.
it takes, I
No,
practice
trust
every
me, it's
morning.
a tag.
It's hard.
It's not a song.
It's good. It's like name drop. That was not. I wasn't doing it perfect. Because it goes. It's just we harm.
I just love this dude so much.
You've had sinus issues. You've had allergies.
Yeah, you have no idea. Hanging out with him, you just look at him.
You
half
have
the time.
a pitch pipe for
Yeah,
this?
he does. Name drop. Name drop. There you go.
Name drop.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
All right, you guys are.
Name
One,
drop.
Hey, LOCASH and Chris Kirkpatrick with
And
Brian
Brian
McFayden.
Name drop. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Name drop.
Drop.
Did you hit that?
He did.
Wait, did I do it?
Name
drop.
That's the.
We got a better one. We got a better one.
Okay, guys.
Rehearse a little bit. Name drop.
Name drop. Name. 1, 2,
3.
Name drop. There you go.